Hello, Julie Chance with Action Strategies by Design. And in this video for Everything DiSC Catalyst users, we're going to review the latest Everything DiSC Worksmart module. As a reminder, Worksmart is a series of 5 modules for managers, designed specifically for managers, that is available on the Catalyst platform. If somebody has access to Worksmart in their Catalyst, they will have this tile that says Discover Worksmart. Click on that and it will take us over to the Worksmart area. Worksmart, as I said, it's a series of 5 topics. The one we're going to look at today is the one that's been most recently released, which is motivating your team. We've previously done videos on giving constructive feedback, empowering your team, and helping your team navigate change. So you might want to check those out on our YouTube channel. And in the future, we'll do the one on managing conflict. So when somebody has access to Worksmart, they get access to all 5 of these modules. And they also get access to an action planning tool. Each module has action planning as a part of the session or of the module, and those are saved when somebody completes the module. They can go back and be reviewed, and people can come back, managers, leaders can come back on an ongoing basis and create new action plans for additional colleagues. So let's jump in and take a look at motivating your team. And these modules are all laid out very similarly. They start with an overview of the session or the objectives, what's going to be covered. So this session is going to look at why motivation matters. It's going to look at what motivation is. It's going to look at what motivates each of the 4 DiSC styles and what demotivates or drains each of the 4 styles. And then look at some tactics for creating a more motivating environment for team members that as leaders we can implement. There's always an overview of the 4 DiSC styles in case it's been a while since participants have participated in a DiSC session. And then there's always an intro question or discussion, large group discussion. And in this case, Wiley asked 1,000 people what someone had done that made them feel good or motivated at work, and what somebody might have done to make them feel bad or demotivated or drained at work. And here's the top answers. And then there's a discussion around something that a coworker may have done that made a big difference and made them feel motivated, maybe something that a coworker did to make them feel drained or demotivated. Then there's a discussion of what is motivation and a reminder that everybody's motivated by something a little bit different, and that part of a leader's role is to help people find their natural motivations and to really create that environment where people feel engaged and motivated. So it talks a little bit about how when we're demotivated, we feel drained, we lack in energy, we lack enthusiasm, and we become disengaged, our work suffers. Whereas when we're motivated, we're more energized, we're more engaged, we're more productive, and we do our best work. So the goal really is to create an environment where individual team members can feel that motivation supercharge. Then it goes into personalized content. So each individual participant would have personalized content around their motivators and demotivators, what drains them, what energizes them, a little bit of an inner overview on that. And then there would be a breakout group discussion around those motivators and demotivators, a discussion about what resonated, some things that are energizing, some things that are demotivating, etc. And then we would look at each of the 4 styles and what each of those 4 styles feels when they feel demotivated? What is the kind of environment or situations, tasks that drain them? And for the D, it's about feeling stuck, right? It's about lack of progress or feeling a lack of control or authority. For the I, it's like feeling like a cog, that there's a lot of slow or tedious or repetitive work that needs to be done, that they're isolated, or that there's a pessimistic culture. The S is demotivated by feeling unsettled, when there's a lot of change or instability, when there's a lack of harmony. Those are the types of things that will drain somebody with the S style. And somebody with the C style is demotivated by feeling unprepared. If they have to do work in a time frame that they feel compromises their standards or the quality they want to do, if they feel like there's inaccurate or inconsistent standards, or they're being rushed, all of those things will tend to demotivate somebody with the C style. So then we would ask participants to think about a colleague and what their DiSC style might be. We could use the people reading format questions to help guesstimate somebody's style. And once they have a colleague with their style in mind, there's some information about what might demotivate that team member. So they can pick the style that they chose. Let's say I chose somebody with the C style, and it will give me a little bit of information on what might be demotivating, de-energizing for that colleague with the C style. And then we'd have another breakout group discussion around those demotivators, and how those might apply, or a time at work that might have happened. And if there's anything that surprised you, or anything that the participants learned about reading about that style. And then we'll go into what motivates each of the style. So for the D style, it's to have a way to channel their ambition, being in charge, getting results, having a big win. For somebody with the I style, it's that positive group energy. They're really motivated by that social interaction and positive energy, by public recognition and attention, by enthusiastic and fast-paced environments. For this S style, it's really about helping others and supporting, right? Being in a caring environment and having an empathetic workplace culture. And the C style, it's about being able to achieve that mastery, problem solving, creating order out of systems, and bringing order to chaos. I was doing a session with a group recently, and the C style, several times they talked about, the people with the C style talked about how they like bringing order to chaos. So then we look at, again, for that same team member, and I chose the C style, what motivates them? So it'll give a little bit of information on my style and how that might impact or interact with my relationships with somebody with the C style, and what I might have to do to adapt to create a more motivating environment for that individual with the C style. Do another breakout group discussion around the motivators, and how we might be able to help motivate the colleague we chose in the future. And then we're actually going to make a plan. We're going to do that action plan for motivation. And we can either, if the person that we want to do the action plan for is in Catalyst, we can type their name in and it'll pop up. For confidentiality and privacy reasons, I'm going to use the guess someone style. And I am going to say they're more cautious and reflective and more accepting and warm, which of course is likely to be somebody with the S style. Then it's going to give me some information about how to help me understand that colleague with the S style. It's going to tell me that they thrive on a calm, steady routine. They like working with empathetic people. They don't like pressure or having to make quick decisions. and they're often reluctant to raise concerns. And I can drop down on any one of these to read a little bit more about it. So I'm probably more direct than they are, and even if something's not working for them or they have a concern, they'll often not express that concern. You're probably going to have to ask them about it. And they tend to downplay struggles, and they don't want to come across as critical or being a burden to others. So after I take a minute and read through that, and just as a reminder, when you're facilitating or when you're in a facilitated session with Worksmart, you're going to work through this, and you're going to work through this with one specific colleague. However, there's that action planning tool that you can go back in and do this over and over again for either the same person at a later point or for another colleague. So it's going to ask me to choose two of these. I'm going to speak up. I'm going to choose speak up on their behalf and express genuine interest in their growth. Those are the two that I want to work on. And it only lets you do two, because if you choose more than two, it's hard to focus on that, right? And then here it provides that information on the two that I chose from the previous page, and it asks me to answer a series of questions that I can type directly into the Catalyst platform, and then once I finish, I'll be able to save that and go back. And for those of you who may have experienced Worksmart previously or might have watched some of our previous videos, this is a new feature. So it's available now on for all of the modules. It was not available in the past, so this might be a new feature to you. And then we ask people to think about how they're going to hold themselves accountable to doing this. And then one last question is, what did they learn? And then finally, some reminders for some things for them to remember about what we've covered today. And then click on Save and Exit, and that will save that action plan that I just created. And we can go back in and look at any of the saved action plans. So that is an overview of the Everything DiSC Worksmart module on motivating your team. And as I said earlier, I've done videos on giving constructive feedback, on empowering your team, and on helping your team navigate change. I will do one on managing conflict in the future, and these are all available on our YouTube channel. So if you want to check that out, and if you are interested in learning more, feel free to reach out. I would be happy to walk you through this, give you additional information, and answer any questions you might have.